Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit holds talks with President of France. Regions solicit HIV/AIDS support funding, and a 13-member private sector delegation from China on a visit to Dominica. Thank you for joining us on another edition of National Focus. I'm Kerdisha St. Louis.
And I'm Tasia Floissac. Stay with us for details on these and other stories after this.
Dominica is blessed with an abundance of water, but getting it to your home is an expensive venture. You have a responsibility to conserve water, to use it wisely. Remember the old adage, you never miss the water till the well runs dry. Think water, think life.
Thanks for staying with us. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit wants opportunities for Dominican students to study in France. The Dominica leader made the request during bilateral discussions with the President of France, His Excellency François Hollande, last weekend.
I said to the French President that over the years we have seen a dramatic drop in the level of support which the French Republic gives to OECS countries insofar as the teaching of French is concerned. And I believe that by providing scholarships to Dominican students, and OECS students for that matter, to study in the French departments, to study in the French, in Paris, in France itself, would enhance the relationship which exists between Dominica and France, and of course Dominica and the OECS.
During the bilateral talks, Honorable Prime Minister and the French President discussed government's geothermal project.
France has been very helpful to us. When EDF pulled out, the presidential palace gave instruction, the cabinet of the French Republic gave instructions to the then Minister for Overseas Territories, Mr. Victorien Lurel, who is now the president of the Regional Council of Guadeloupe, to bring together some French companies, some of which are state-owned, to work with the government of Dominica in the realization of its geothermal potential, both for the domestic plant and but also critically for the export to Martinique and Guadeloupe. So the presidential palace has been very helpful in putting this consortium together.
The Honorable Prime Minister also used the opportunity to appeal to the French President to make representation on behalf of Dominica and the rest of the OECS to benefit from the European Union's neighborhood policy.
I said to the French President, look, we are in, we're bordering Europe, because from Martinique and Guadeloupe, the OECS, not only Dominica, but the OECS. And we believe that he should push the European Union to have a similar neighborhood policy for us in the OECS. If Europe is slow in doing it, then let's study France. So let France have a neighborhood policy for us and so on. That will involve economic activity, that will involve healthcare services. You understand? And on a number of other areas that we can certainly gain support from the French government from.
Within the European Neighborhood Policy, ENP, the EU offers to its partners a very concrete set of opportunities through its sector policies. These cover a broad range of issues from employment and social policy, trade, industrial and competition policy to agriculture and rural development, climate change and environment. They include energy security, transport, research and innovation, as well as support to health, education, culture, and youth.
Regional health ministers, including Dominica's Dr. Kenneth Daru, are confident that the HIV/AIDS response programs in their respective countries will get financial support. According to Honorable Dr. Daru, a concept paper is currently being finalized for presentation to the Global Fund to fight AIDS, tuberculosis, and malaria. That fund is an international financing organization that aims to attract and disburse additional resources to prevent and treat these illnesses.
We know that our HIV/AIDS program was started out some time ago, was originally funded, I think, by the Clinton initiative. It eventually ran out and has since then been taken over by the Global Fund. So one of the difficulties we foresaw was that approaching the accession of these funds as individual countries would have posed their own peculiar challenges. So what we've agreed on as OECS ministers is to approach this as a block, and we took a decision to make the OECS Commission as that we call the primary recipient of this project. So we stand to receive somewhere between the region of $5.3 million within the next year. So of course, pending subsequent approval from the Global Fund.
Part of that plan is that regional governments will contribute to a counterpart fund. In the meantime, Dominica's government has made budgetary provisions so HIV/AIDS patients can access their antiretroviral medications. In related news, Dominica's Chief Medical Officer announced a breakthrough for Dominica as it relates to HIV/AIDS.
Dominica is also hopefully be one of those few countries in the region to be certifying in fact, we're working on the report in the whole question of the elimination of vertical transmission of HIV/AIDS from women, from mother to child, and also congenital syphilis. We have, at least for HIV/AIDS, we have not recorded any transmission over the last decade from mother to child, and I think that's a plus for Dominica and for the region. And we're in the process of building a report in terms of and receiving outside verification in validating that situation in Dominica. And
in more news, the Library and Information Service is once again observing Library Week from the 11th to the 16th of May 2015. It's a time to celebrate the contribution of libraries and information services to nationals and communities, and a time to showcase the resources, facilities, and services through different programs and events. Minister for Education and Human Resource Development, Honorable Peter Tasia, says that this year, focus will be placed on the numerous opportunities available to library users.
We'll focus on the many possibilities which exist for users of all ages and stages as they seek to use and make sense of the vast array of information that is currently available. As we begin this week of activities, it is fitting to recognize the role of the Library and Information Service has played and continues to play in the development of the citizens of this country.
Honorable Tasia says that the importance of libraries cannot be downplayed.
Libraries play a vital role in support of the quality of life of the community, as they provide places for education and lifelong learning, while allowing equal access and opening up doors of opportunities to all.
The minister notes that the library offers a wide range of services, including internet access, research assistance, homework help, book loans, and fun and educational activities. He believes that the possibilities offered at the libraries are invaluable.
Libraries offer the possibility for people to connect. Users connect to each other as they seek information and knowledge from print and electronic resources. They also connect when they receive professional help with their research. The possibility also exists for early childhood development as parents find and use resources to give their children a head start in reading. Libraries enable students to develop their research skills and allow all to have equal access to resources, whether print or in technological format.
Honorable Tasia is calling on nationals to use Library Week to take full advantage of the resources available to them at the public library.
The celebration of Library Week affords us the opportunity to take a fresh look at what is possible at our libraries. It is a time to acknowledge the many services which are offered for research and education, including services to those who would not otherwise have the opportunity to access that kind of information. I wish to encourage everyone to visit the library and to take advantage of the resources and services available.
For further information, contact Library and Information Service, National Documentation Center, Kennedy Avenue, Roseau, Dominica. Telephone number 266-3408 or email documentationcenter@dominica.gov.dm. Well, Tasia, once again, we see that it's a library week, and I'm particularly excited because I myself look forward to going to the library and seeing all the wonderful activities that they have planned there, because literacy is so important in Dominica, because without it, we can't do anything at all.
I agree, and the government has always been advocating for more individuals or youth or children to do a little more reading. I know as part of the Growth and Social Protection Strategy, we are looking at unemployment and education, reducing poverty. Now, I think literacy is so important because if you are not literate or you don't know how to read, you know, there's just so far that you can go, and you obviously need to be literate or, you know, be able to read and have knowledge of certain things to get employed, which is going to reduce poverty across the island.
That's right, and you know, it's not just literacy we're focusing on, we're also focusing on research and information technology.
Right.
We see that recently the Minister for Information Technology, Kerdisha, just donated several computers to the Caleb Laura Primary School in his area. So, you know, we can positively see that government is doing all in their ability to not just promote literacy, but overall, you know, education, research abilities, and stuff like that.
Yes, and on that note, we know that right now the Center of Excellence is actually being established at the Dominica State College, and the college itself has its own library. Now, we know that for college students or at tertiary level, it's important because, like they say, we are not the future tomorrow, we are the future today. So it's very important for everyone, everyone who has libraries in their community. I know Portsmouth has one. We have one here in Roseau. So it's important for all individuals or children in their communities to get to read. Also, I know that we have the bus, the library bus that goes around to different communities across the country, and I think that in itself is commendable.
Yes, and I always looked forward to the bus growing up,
yes,
as a matter
growing
of fact.
up.
And you know, it's not just important to read, but I think it's also important to actually go to the library because it's a social, you know, environment where you and your friends can sit down and read and discuss the book, and that in itself helps you become more literate. So kudos to the government and the public library for their initiative.
Yes, because every child must succeed, and we are also, I guess, calling on parents as well to foster deeper appreciation for reading with the children, especially this library week.
You're watching National Focus. Still to come, 13-member private sector delegation from China on a visit to Dominica. Stay with us.
Did you know the Caribbean Court of Justice is 2 courts in 1? The CCJ has 2 functions: an original jurisdiction, which deals with your right to move between CARICOM countries freely and your right to move your money and your business. This is the basis of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME, and the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, and an appellate jurisdiction to hear appeals from courts of those countries which decide to use it as their final court of appeal and no longer go to the Privy Council. All CARICOM member states who have signed the agreement establishing the CCJ are members of the CCJ.
Welcome back. A 13-member private sector delegation from the People's Republic of China is now on island exploring possible investment opportunities. Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit confirmed this during a press conference on Tuesday.
This is as a result of my recent visit to China and inviting them to look at investment opportunities in Dominica. So they've been having discussions with all of the relevant government departments, talking about the airport, talking about hotel development, talking about port development. So they've been having discussions with all the relevant government departments with a view to furthering those discussions and getting to the point where you can see actual physical investments in the country. We've always maintained that we have excellent relations with the People's Republic of China at the diplomatic and government level. What we need to do, we've been saying and we've been working on this, is to have the same kind of relationship with the Chinese private sector. by having them invest in Dominica, because we need those kind of investment, whether it's light manufacturing, whether it is in tourism. We need to see how we can get those Chinese private sector investments to invest in Dominica. I must say that we have the support of the Chinese government in that regard.
And also this news time, the Honorable Minister for Employment, Ian Douglas, is encouraging nationals and stakeholders to understand their role in boosting Dominica's tourism industry. Last week, 62 nationals from the Southwest began a 12-week hospitality apprenticeship training program under government's National Employment Program. Addressing the opening ceremony at the Point Michel Community Center, Honorable Douglas highlighted the program's importance for Dominica's success in the regionally and internationally competitive industry.
The success of those investments really depend on you, and you in turn need those investments to be successful so that you can create employment for yourselves, and even more important, you can generate revenue, the monies that the guests will spend not only at the hotels but on the amenities, the touristic amenities that your pal rep just spoke about. That will only be possible if you put in the quality of service and the standard of guest service that the guest expects. And we know that tourism is a very competitive business. People have a choice of 1 million places around the world that they can get to right now. They can go on the internet and they can surf touristic places in Asia, in Africa, in South America, in the United States, in Europe, in Russia to go to. So when they come to Dominica, it is not because they are forced to come to Dominica to spend their money. They come into Dominica because they want to experience what we have to offer. And if we do not create that experience for them, yes, they will come once, but they wouldn't come back, and they will not encourage other people to come to Dominica.
According to the Employment Minister, government has also implemented several programs targeting increased youth participation in the tourism and employment sectors, a necessary factor in stimulating economic growth.
Over the past 2 years, we have been aggressively pursuing training initiatives with a view to preparing young persons for the job market. Because there's one thing to have all of the opportunities in the investments those investments will create. But if we do not have the persons to take advantage of those opportunities, then it's almost like these investors will have to bring people in from foreign lands, from Antigua and St. Martin, from Indonesia and the Philippines, to work as waitresses and bartenders and backroom operations and front desk managers if you are not equipped. And what would that do? You would be in the community sitting on the blocks every morning from 8 to 4, looking at persons, foreigners, going up into those establishments and taking up those opportunities. And we do not want that. We want you to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that those investments will create.
The Honourable Member of Parliament for the Soufriere constituency, Ian Pinard, also addressed the ceremony. The Honourable Minister says this is demonstration of the Dominica Labour Party government making true on its 2014 general election promise to reduce unemployment.
The 62 persons who will take part in this course will have employment within those areas. You'll be trained in bartending. You'll be trained in front desk management. You'll be trained in housekeeping. You'll be trained in culinary arts. And you'll be trained in waitressing. All these are critical in the hospitality business. And by the time you finish the 12-week program, you'll be ready to be employed in any major hotel or restaurant around Dominica. And this is what this program is about. This is why when the Labour Party said in the 2014 general election that we are going to train our people and create sustainable jobs for our persons. You'll be getting a certificate from the State College. So when you apply for jobs, you'll be using a certificate from the State College saying that you have been trained for 12 weeks. So it's very, very important.
This module is the NEP's third hospitality apprenticeship training program being hosted in collaboration with the Dominica State College. The Hospitality Apprenticeship Training Module has been launched in communities like Castle Bruce, the Kalinago Territory and Margot, training approximately 98 nationals. A nail technician or manicure training was also recently completed in the Warner-Campbell constituency. The Dominica Labour Party government has spent over $167,000 on this module for the Southwest, which includes the payment of stipends during the 6-week training and additional 6-week attachment. Additionally, $12 million have been invested by government on this program over the past 2 years for the development of its human resource.
And finally, this news time, second form students of the Goodwill Secondary School visited the studios of the Government Information Service on Wednesday. The students got to see firsthand the operations of the department, including preparation for the nightly news. 2 of these students, Deshad Greed and a 10-year-old, even got the opportunity to read from the prompter. Teacher Tasia Mills explained to GIS News that this is part of activities marking the school's career week.
We are trying to expose the children as much as possible to different careers. So in choosing the subject at the end of the week, they would be better equipped to know in what subject they should choose. So being in news reporting as a choice of career, we wanted to bring them, though they are not exposed to it at school, but bringing them here, they could have a feel of it and know whether or not this is a career that they would like to take on in the future.
And that's the English news. McPherson said Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moins c'est McPherson Saint-Louis. Premièrement, gouvernement Dominica continue et puis projet géothermique. Parole celle-là sortie du Premier Ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit pendant la conférence média semaine celle-là.
Géothermique en Équatorial, c'est ça, comme ça nous prenons une décision cabinet pour taper un loan en Banque mondiale là, World Bank, pour 50 millions l'argent américain, dollars américains. Et puis nous avons écrit pour dire renouveler loan ça là, pour nous bâtir plan géothermie pour l'électricité pour payer nous. Et puis nous continuons de travailler à ces plans-là pour exporter géothermie Martinique et Guadeloupe.
En d'autres nouvelles, délégation Dominique visite étudiants qui a étudié en Cuba pendant une visite officielle. Parole celle-là sortie du ministre de la Santé, Honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow, qui était chef de délégation là.
C'est important aussi que nous visitons ces étudiants de médecine qui ont étudié à Havana. Et nous voulons pas apporter ça pour voir condolences aussi à la famille Marsha Stevens. C'était un étudiant de médecine à 5 years?
5 années.
5 années? De 5 années. 5 années. 5 années qui mort même jour. In fact, même jour, nous arrivons à Cuba, nous tapons nouvelle ça là. C'est unfortunate qu'il y a une jeune fille qui quitte le pays pour aller studier pour meilleure la vie famille. Mais c'est bien qui a passé la vie, nous voudrions comme ministère, ministry à mauvaise femme entière pour voir condoléances à la famille Marsha Stevens.
En la nouvelle, le département de drogue Dominique conduit surveiller pour garder les conditions étudiants qui concernent l'abaissement de drogue et alcool en l'école. Parole celle-là sortie au chef du département de drogue Dominique, Mademoiselle Jacinta Barnes.
Nous avons fait 3 surveilles. Et puis, surveiller à monter ces enfants, ils ont servi drogue et puis alcool, c'est drogue là, ils ont pris. Ils ont servi pli. Après ça, c'est marijuana et puis cigarette. Nous avons fait un workshop dans l'école là, nous avons fait parole dans l'école là, nous avons fait parole à la radio. So, là, nous avons fait parole là, comment on dit, behavior change que j'ai qui a point de temps, mais nous ne pouvons pas faire ça. Nous avons build awareness, nous avons fait moun savent ça qui est dangereux, so pour faire plus mais l'autre temps.
Et puis finalement, Ministre Roosevelt fait report développement en industrie celle-là. Parole celle-là, sorti hors officier technical, M. Edward Henderson.
Nous tenons un petit développement. Au cas où le carnaval est sorti ici, on patche, il pas venu Dominique pour 3 années. Numéro notre descend, nous pas tenir qualité numéro nous tenir avant. 2006, nous tenons presque 500 000 monde. Après ça, il descend pour presque 300 000 monde. Là aussi, c'est quand nous allons nous parler, nous faisons certaines bagailles, toutes ces sites là, so on. Vous voyez d'autres cannot ici. So, il monte un petit tac. Mais nous ne pouvons faire plus. Nous ne pouvons comprendre que nous tous ne pouvons faire quelque chose. Pour plus de monde venir ici. Puis si vous ne venez pas ici, vous ne pas dépenser l'argent, nous tous qu'est-ce que vous faites?
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelles en créole pour à présent. Non moins c'est McPherson. Au revoir.
Coming up next, your tip of the day.
Get in and fasten your seatbelts, okay?
Mom, why do I have to wear seatbelts? I do not want to.
James, when I ask you to fasten your seatbelts, please do as I say. It's for your own safety and protection, okay?
Yeah.
Protect yourself, protect the child. Always fasten your seatbelt. Crashes can happen at any time. It is better to be safe than sorry. Remember, seatbelts save lives. A message brought to you by the Violence and Injury Surveillance System Committee in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization.
Home fires can start and spread quickly, which is why we all need to be careful and educated when it comes to fire safety. Just a little bit of planning can make a big difference for your family. Teach kids never to play with matches and lighters. Make a habit of placing these items up and away from young children.
Use common sense in the kitchen. Limit distractions when cooking and don't leave a hot oven or stovetop unattended. Blow out candles before you leave the room or before you go to sleep. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm.
Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News Desk, I'm Tasia Floissac.
And I'm Kerdisha. Thanks for watching, and do join us again next time on National Focus.
Hello? I'm listening. You have to call me back because I'm going to cross the street. Okay, bye.
Be smart. Don't use cell phones while crossing the street. Be safe. Use the pedestrian crossing. A message brought to you by the Violence and Injury Surveillance System Committee in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization.